All right, folks, I believe we are live. Give it a few seconds here. All right, folks, it's MKW's Chinese Wrestling Sit Down, where we sit down with wrestlers and personalities from within and out of China. We get a more in-depth look at who they are and their unique stories that make them be prime candidates here as our focus features of Chinese Wrestling Sit Down. I am Leung, of course. We're back once again with another guest, and this is the Lion City Hit Girl, Alexis Lee. She is also the current CWE Vixens champion, Singapore's first female wrestler. Alexis, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here.
Great to have you here. The comment section is open for Facebook and YouTube, and we are live on MKW's Facebook and YouTube. We'll be answering some questions there. So make sure you leave a comment or question for Alexis. So we'll answer those later on. So first off, you often make references to your Chinese heritage. Do you speak Mandarin or Cantonese, or what do you speak?
I speak Mandarin, and I do understand a little bit of Cantonese, but it's pretty jumbled out of my head with the Hokkien and the Teochew, which I could never differentiate. So I just stick to just Mandarin.
It's kind of kind of reverse for me. I'm like Cantonese, but not very good with Mandarin. So you're in Singapore right now. How popular is wrestling in Singapore? Are there a lot of fans? And when did you start watching wrestling?
I started watching wrestling back in high school when I was going through like a trying period during school, and like wrestling became like my escape from reality, and that kind of like made me think like what I want to become, and like I just thought, what better way than to become a pro wrestler, to kind of put my passion and like my anger into it in a way. So the wrestling scene in Singapore, I would say it's rather huge. SPW, the promotion I'm with, we've been selling out our shows basically almost from the get-go. We grew from 50 people in the audience to our last sold-out show, which was like 600 people, I think.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I would say we have a pretty good fan base. It's a great wrestling scene here in Singapore and Southeast Asia.
Awesome. So did they show WWE over there? I think WWE went there like once or twice for a show, right?
I think WWE came here for like 3 times. I only went for the last show last year. Like that was my first WWE show, and it was a great experience. But it was like really interesting to kind of see how everything plays out, because their venue is huge. They were using the indoor stadium. There were like thousands of people. We got kind of like rather close seats. We were like this 5th, 6th row or something. I can't remember. But it was great. It was crazy. I got to meet Becky Lynch and Drew McIntyre at the meet and greet like before the show even started. So that was fun. Yeah.
Okay. Drew's a nice guy, I heard. So, so how did you hear? Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a tall guy. So how did you hear or first learn about SPW and that they had a training school?
So Singapore Pro Wrestling started back in 2012. That was during my first year of Polytechnic, and like I was kind of going through like various co-curricular activities, and then one of the guys was telling me like, oh, there is like there's Singapore Pro Wrestling, like kind of open show sort of thing. So it's like he was asking me if I want to check out with him. I was like, hell yeah, like let's go. So we went, and then we watched, and I kind of approached Andrew afterwards. I was like, I'm interested to become a pro wrestler. Like, what do I have to kind of do to kind of like join and all that stuff? So a couple weeks after that, I went for my first trial class along with Trexus. That's the first time we actually met. And then like in January of 2013, I started training, and in August of that same year, that's when we debuted, and SPW had its first official show. So that was like one roller coaster ride.
Oh yeah, wow, that's it's quite a long time ago too, so a lot of history behind SPW. So when you so when you told your family that you're gonna be a pro wrestler, what was the reaction? Was it a positive, negative? How did they react?
Honestly, I did not tell them about it. They actually found out like after our first show in August. We were very fortunate to get media coverage from like various newspapers here in Singapore. So that has kind of like transcended from being on Straits Time. Uh, it got picked up by other like media outlets like Singapore website and all that stuff. Then the Chinese newspaper kind of picked up that story and like contacted me to kind of like translate the English article to the Chinese one. Then that's when my aunt saw the article and asked my mom if that was me. And that's when my mom found out. And I got like a earful. I got so much trouble for that. They don't like it that I'm wrestling. But I would say like over the years, they are slowly allowing me to go for what I want to do. Because they've been so against it for so many times. Like Andrew will know it best. He has helped me in numerous situations where like he had to kind of be the middleman between my parents and I to kind of like tell them to, let me be who I am, let me do what I do, and like just to like kind of like have my back, cause Asian parents.
Yes, I was just gonna say Asian parents are very supportive of the arts as a career. I mean, yeah, my parents and yeah, my whole family don't like me watching wrestling either, so I know how you feel. So so how many women wrestlers were training with you originally, and has that amount increased since then?
The first 2.5 years, I would say, I was the only female wrestler. So I've been training with guys since I was 18 to like when I was like about 21 or something. And like it was really interesting. Like they are a group of brothers, even though like I know them pretty well. They have given me a very interesting insight onto many aspects of life outside of wrestling.
Hmm.
But like the women, it's hard for women to kind of stay around in like I would say mostly in Chinese culture or in Asia culture, just cause of how like parents are really adverse to like wrestling. So it's been really hard to kind of get girls to continue staying, cause after a while like they it's not like they lose the passion. It's just that they kind of think about a lot of different things and they just feel like it's not their path to continue following on. So so far currently I have like three other girls, the colonizer, Selena and Luna Ines. Uh, but like with life, they are currently taking a break to focus on their personal lives instead of the in the ring. Yeah. So it's been a bit hard for me. Like I'm back to being myself again.
Oh yeah, so some women just come and go. So what other or who other women has come through SPW other than those ladies that you mentioned?
We've had Jane Fu, who was part of the Mighty Dragon family, and very early on we had Tara Rosame, who's currently based in sorry, I think she's based in Denver, Colorado, or something like that. She's currently based in America. So those were two other women that has come before my current three girls. They are no longer with us in SPW.
Hmm. Awesome. Okay, but I'm sure a lot of women come and go, and it's cyclical. And yeah, women's wrestling's always been strong, so I'm sure it'll pick back up. So we are live here on MKW's Facebook and YouTube, and we are taking questions, and I believe there's a lot of questions. So let's see if my PA here has a question here. All right, so Kevin Chu. So a lot of questions here. First, who inspired you to have face paint covered on your face? Let's just go start with that one first.
Uh, honestly, it was just an idea I had, like to play off, because everyone's always saying that I'm really skinny. So that was just something I was like thinking of kind of doing. And then Lady Gaga also did like the Born This Way music video with like the skeleton look. So I was like, damn, like I really love Gaga. So what better way than to do the skeleton face paint to kind of like accept the fact that I'm skinnier than most people are, and like just for my love for Gaga mainly.
Yeah, Lady Gaga is like, yeah, it's pretty huge in Asia. Like, I think still to this day.
Oh,
Is
she's
there,
awesome.
yeah. So is there another question? Yeah, let's go back to Kevin. So number two, favorite commentary announcer and ring announcer of all time. Pick two or three. You don't have to pick me. But
I'm sorry,
yeah,
but like
favorite
I really
commentary
love.
announcer.
Sorry.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, I really love JR and King, like Jerry the King Lawler. Like their back and forth on the commentary team. They're like a great duo on the team. Yeah. Ring announcer. I do love Ricardo Rodriguez. Like the way he is, like the way he would build up Alberto Del Rio. It's like freaking awesome. He's a great guy too. Like, dude just gives me advice out of nowhere. Because I just like did a little wrestling video from which I stole from him, and then like attacked him on it, and he just gave me a lot of advice for someone who didn't know me at all. He's awesome.
Great pick. So is there more from Kevin? Let me see. Let's see. Number three, ever had an idea of creating a new submission as the finish of a match instead of using the spear, as Triple H says? You need to evolve in ideas to become a much more better wrestler. So any ideas of a finishing submission move, basically?
I actually do have a submission moves, but I barely use it. I have no idea why. So I should probably work on it more, and maybe it could be my new finish.
What's the move?
It's like a modified abdominal stretch. Um, it's on one of my photos in Instagram. Like it's a long, long time ago. I haven't really done it since like almost a year, I think.
Similar
So yeah,
to the octopus, maybe? Is it like that?
yeah, but it's like on the ground. So I
On the
kind of
ground,
like,
okay.
yeah, I kind of like drop toe the opponent. I kind of like on top of them, and I put them in the abdominal stretch of sorts. It's fun for me, not for my opponent.
Not for your opponent. All right, thank you, Kevin. So Alexis is going to work on that, and maybe in a future show, that'll be the finisher. Yeah, more questions here? Jonathan Ray, hello from Jonesboro, Arkansas, USA.
Oh, awesome!
Hello
Hi,
from, yeah. All right,
hey, bro.
Rocky. Hi, Alexis. All right. DJ M, when you're not wrestling, what do you like to do in your free time? What are your
Sleep,
hobbies? Sleep.
sleep. Yes, much more sleep and listening to music. Like
Listening to
most of my
Gaga.
waking time is oh hell yeah! I can't curse, right? I really love like
All right,
a lot of
sleeping and
music.
listening to Gaga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of music.
All right. All right. Next question. All right, DJ M from YouTube. What wrestlers or promotions do you like to watch?
I like to watch a lot of well, now I'm actually watching a lot of Eve, like Pro Wrestling Eve that's based in London. They're awesome. Like the venue is great at the Resistance Gallery. The wrestlers are awesome, and then they have like really fun shows. Like one of my favorite shows is like the Chris Wolf retirement show. It was so great because like they had like three matches, which was kind of like the story of Chris Wolf growing up, that sort of thing. So it was like a nice, like, reinvention of how wrestling shows are booked. It was a very different and unique spin on it, which was like really fun. So if you have a pivot share, go watch it and seriously, just watch it. They're great.
They also have the is that the one with the She Won tournament with the all
Yeah,
women's
yeah, yeah.
tournament? Yeah, that's the one too, right? Yeah. So
I
they
went there
support
last
women's
year.
wrestling also. Oh yeah,
Oh, they
awesome.
do. They have many great talents who I want to
And
wrestle.
which wrestlers do you watch? Do you enjoy watching?
Rhea O'Reilly. She is one badass bitch. Oh shit, I'm
Hmm.
not supposed to curse, right? Laura Di
That's all
Matteo is
right.
awesome too. Like, I've been watching a lot of like UK wrestling scene because I was supposed to go a couple months back for a little tour, which was cancelled because of COVID.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've been watching a lot
Screwing
of
everything up.
the yeah, I've been watching a lot of the UK girls. Like, yeah, like many of them are great. Like, I can't wait to see like how the scene grows there too. So still got who? The women from Ice Ribbon, they're awesome as well. They recently did like this 3 days show, which was hella fun. I need to be part of it soon. So yeah,
All
so
right,
yeah.
awesome. All right, any more questions here? If not, then we're gonna continue on. Let me see. So, all right, let's continue on. So, what's the atmosphere like when you're wrestling in front of Singaporean fans? Are they pretty wild or
They are pretty drunk.
pretty drunk?
Yeah, we do serve a lot of alcohol at a lot of beer at the shows. So there is a lot of like people who's been drinking all night. So like my match is usually in the mid towards the end of the card. So like people are pretty drunk towards that time. And it's always fun because like they are a very loud bunch. You just kind of feed off their energy, and like the way you would be in the ring is like when you hear their energy, you just feel like the next level power. The adrenaline's rushing through your body. You hear them just shouting. You interact with them. It's freaking fun. It's definitely like a lot different from when I first started and I was like nervous as hell. So yeah, I'm enjoying wrestling a lot more now. Now that I'm more confident in everything.
So wrestling's always more enjoyable with alcohol, right? So
Oh hell yes!
that's pretty awesome.
So I always
Yeah.
yeah, I always steal people's alcohol. Yes.
All right. So besides Andrew Tang, you've also been trained and mentored by Emi Sakura from AEW in Japan, of course. So please talk about Emi Sakura and what she has done for women in wrestling in general and in Asia.
Sakura has been like I've met Sakura 5 years ago when we did our show Hardcore Island in July, I think. She's been great. From the first time I met her, she was like this legend already. Like back then, it was like her 20th year in pro wrestling, so it's like she is just this massive star. And like, I was so afraid of her. I mean, I still am. But yeah, she gave me so much tips because back then I didn't wrestle a lot. I mean, I didn't wrestle a lot now. But back then I wrestled, it was maybe like my fifth match or something when I wrestled her. So she gave me a lot of tips because she has trained like so many great talents. And like, yeah, it was awesome. Like each and every time I wrestled her, it's like a new adventure. And like, I'm always learning something from her, even though she's stretching my ass out like crazy. She loves to put me in submissions. I don't know why. So yeah, she's
To torture
awesome.
you.
Yeah, it's like she's like the wrestling mummy of Southeast Asia, I would say, because she has done like Singapore, Thailand, and Philippines and Malaysia now, I think. Yeah, so like basically she knows all the female wrestlers there is to know in Southeast Asia, and like she's really taking care of um, the, the s- the people basically, and kind of like improving everyone's skill set and their levels of experience in a way. We just learn a lot from her, so it's like it's really great.
So you mentioned that she gave you a lot of tips and learning lessons. Can you give us an example of one learning lesson from Emi Sakura that
She
you can
shouts a
share?
lot during training,
Mm.
like because when I started out, I'm not that confident, so I didn't really like the fact that I had to shout or anything. So like just training with her, and then like the first time I was meeting her, and like first time we stepped into the ring, and then she was like, "Yeah," I was like, "Holy shit!" Like damn, woman, like we have neighbors, you know, we are in a shared office space. There's neighbors. Like I'm so scared. I'm so scared of what people would think. But like, yeah, she just was like she was like imparting her wisdom in like psychology and all that stuff. And yeah, like shouting is a very big part of pro wrestling, even though people don't really see it. It kind of like adds more to your moves or like to the way you sell. Overall, it's up to the atmosphere of the match. So like yeah, like that was one of the important things I would say that she has taught me from wrestling. Because a lot of people still don't really shout, and I'm like, when I watch it, I was like, I totally get what she's talking about. Because like you need some sounds for the fans to kind of feed on, and then you feed off the energy. It's a circle of energy.
That's interesting. So you haven't worked for MKW Wrestling yet in China yet, but you were being considered to be one of the final announcements when it comes to the Jingguo Women's Warriors Cup, the first ever women's tournament in China. We hope to get you back here, after all the COVID situation is behind us. But while you didn't go to China for MKW, you did go for WWE. You were in China as part of their Shanghai tryout last year. Tell us your experience with the WWE tryout in Shanghai.
Uh, the tryout was 4 days. Yeah, it was like 4 days of just a lot of cardio, a lot of like rolling around, a lot of running around. It was a really very interesting experience. We were all like pretty much starstruck, but it was great because there were like a bunch of us from Southeast Asia who actually made it into the tryouts. So it's not like we were just like three Singaporeans like going to a tryout with the rest of the China people. So it's like we know people that were kind of like doing these tryouts with us. So we weren't like really like alone in that situation, which was like it was really really fun. We did 2 sessions of 4 hour training per day. Then we also like I made friends with all these Chinese people. It was really interesting because like I was introducing myself in my Chinese name, and all the Chinese people were introducing themselves to me in their English names, and I'm like, wait, like this is weird. Yeah, the tryout was great. I have a bruise from my elbow from like all the getting up. Uh, we managed to show off our skills in the wrestling ring on the last day. Yeah, on the last day, the pro wrestlers managed to do like 5 minute matches with like whoever the trainers were like kind of like picking out. So I was fortunate. I did a match with Gypsy and Crystal like separately. So I was like given a great opportunity to kind of like do 2 matches instead of one, which most people have. That was daunting too. Like I've never done 2 matches in a single day, let alone like 25 minutes apart. So it was really fun. We met a lot of people. We I would say we ate a lot of food, but I actually lost weight because I couldn't eat the food. So yeah, that was a great experience. Like China tryouts. It was massively fun.
So I heard
And
some guys and girls were signed to WWE and were going to go to Florida this year, but because of COVID, they couldn't go, obviously. So could you give us an inside scoop of if you were selected or if other Singaporean wrestlers were selected or anyone else?
oh, we're not supposed to say anything. All I can
Not
say is
supposed to say anything.
there's a handful of people that were selected out of
Hmm.
44 of us. So we'll see who makes it in. I think it'll be like next year where we'll see like who actually gets in, who doesn't. But I think overall it's still a very good experience for all of us. We never dreamt of having the chance to even have this opportunity to do the tryout. So for whoever who makes it into the WWE, it's a much bigger deal. But even for the rest of us who has never, like, who's not getting into the WWE now, it does not mean that it's out of the picture completely. It just gave us like this tryout just kind of like put something new onto our resume that we could further push ourselves to our full potential in the future. So it's
Yeah.
like either way, it's still a win-win situation to be part of like this tryout. So yeah, we'll just see like in a couple months, I guess, like who actually makes it.
Hmm. Great experience, but WWE, they always change their minds, in a good way or bad way sometimes, right? So you never know, I guess. So we are live here on MKW's Facebook and YouTube. So comment section is open for Alexis Lee. Is there any more questions here? DJM, when will you be wrestling with MKW?
That's a question for MKW, I would say.
Question for Adrian, I guess.
Yeah,
All right. So you're in a 10-person tag team match. Who do you want to be your partners? So that's
definitely
4 people, I guess. Yeah.
Princess and Andrew, the two guys I did the WWE tryout with from Singapore. They're like an awesome tag team. So definitely these
Hmm.
two. It's in the gender, right? So I could choose anyone I want. Uh, wow, dream match wise, can I throw in Triple H and Mickey James? Cause those two were like my biggest inspiration for pro wrestling. So I would say like
Sure, you
on
pick
that one,
anybody.
yes. So it's like three massive guys and then two of us. Yeah.
All
So
right, next question. Thank you, DJM. Mr. Cat's Wrestling, Voodoo. Who would win in a match between you and Andrew Tang?
no questions asked, Andrew Tang.
I was gonna pick
Like
you actually, but hope he's
why?
not
How?
watching. Nah, you can
Oh,
take
you
it.
would
You
you
can
would message me
take
later. How dare you say that?
it. Okay, Brandon Stevens. Where did it go? Oh, okay, that disappeared. Really quick. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm not controlling these questions, by the way. So my PA, what are you doing? He's drunk today. He went to one of your shows. Kevin Chu, how many teddy bears does Alexis have? Does she not keep other soft toys other than teddy bears? Yeah, I don't know what that means, but how many teddy bears do you have?
I have at least 20 bears in total. They're not all on my bed. Not I only have a small ass bed, so I can't have so many bears on my bed. Plus, my mom like keeps keeping them away. I do have other soft toys. I have a pig. I want to say I have a penguin. I can't remember. I don't remember a lot of things, but yeah, I have a lot of teddy bears. My pencil box is a teddy bear. Like this is my pencil box. Wait, this is my pencil box. It's a teddy bear.
Hmm.
So yeah,
The line bear.
yes. Do I not keep other soft toys other than teddy bears? I have the pig
The big.
and
All
other
right,
stuff
yeah.
which I can't remember.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, next question here. Have you wrestled anywhere else besides, or in the US besides CWE?
No. I'm really hoping to uh plan a trip to US soon, but I need my driving license first because I can't drive. In America, you kind of need to drive everywhere. So I'm not going to walk. So let me get a driving license, then I'll go back to America and I'll plan a better tour.
Well, you got to be an independent wrestler and stuff 5 or 6 people in a car, right? You can't be in a car by yourself, especially in a foreign country. So
I don't know.
yeah,
I need
you
to
gotta
meet up more people.
you gotta like stuff people in the trunk and stuff just to like save money.
Like a clown car.
Yeah, there
Maybe
you
a
go.
clown car. Yes.
So maybe
The
go on a
next
tour with some other wrestlers. But okay. Anyways, next question, please. The chairman himself. If the Jinghua Warriors Cup have taken place, how far do you think you would? How far do you think you would have went?
Do we know who are the other girls who's part of it?
It wasn't announced. I'm not sure if
Yes.
I'm allowed to announce it, but I believe like Raylan, probably Zeta, Crystal.
Oh, I've beaten Crystal numerous times,
Yeah.
so like I'll win her again easily, hands down. Zeta,
That's a
I've
challenge.
wrestled Zeta a little bit. She's strong. She'll throw my ass out of the ring like that. Should maybe I'll definitely make it past the first half, at least.
All right,
I'll aim
semifinals, I
for
guess.
semifinals to quarters after. Yeah, semi before I go to finals. Who knows?
You guys have to find out when the women's tournament happens. Any more questions?
Just
Kevin
hell
Chu,
yeah.
Taz Craven, definitely you make a great tag team with him. Yes.
Yes, my Aussie mate. He's a great guy. I did his face paint. It was fun.
Mr. Katz Wrestling, when will you come to England?
When COVID is under control,
All
then I'll plan a trip again. And I
right,
want to
hopefully
wrestle
soon.
a cat. I want to wrestle a cat. You go Mr. Cat's Wrestling and I'll wrestle a cat. Or maybe I'll be underneath the cat outfit.
My cat's sleeping right now, so he can't wrestle him. All right, any more questions? DJM, how many languages, almost says luggages, languages do you speak?
English, Chinese, a little bit of Korean, a very minute bit of French, because my ex was French. So I listen to French songs. I can understand. Speaking wise, it will probably be terrible. So don't ask me about it. So, yeah. I would say 3 more.
All right. Trilingual, quadlingual. Chairman Al, you will definitely win if you have chairman in your corner. I don't know if I trust him.
But I have the chairman in my corner, which means the probability
Chairman
of me
Al.
winning is like 100%.
All right, next question. I guess that's it.
It went through 3 things.
I don't know, I went really quick. I think that's it. Okay, let's go back to the questions that I have now. All right, thank you for all the questions there. Thank you for watching live here on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see. So we were talking about COVID-19 earlier. How is Singapore wrestling handling it? And any ideas when shows will resume in Singapore?
Currently, Singapore is in phase 2 of the lockdown, which means that many things are open, including gyms. Just that our training has also resumed, but we can't do any contact wrestling. So right now, our training has mostly been focused on, improving everyone's cardio and like the really basics in the ring, like running the ropes, like rolls and all that stuff. And some of our trainers have been doing promos with the students. So I think it's a very interesting time where we are actually able to focus on other things compared to doing moves and all that where you involve contact with another person. So it's great. I'm not sure when we're able to hold another show, but I guess something will be in the works soon for SPW kind of put new content onto our YouTube page and all that.
Awesome. Hopefully it comes back pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
hopefully.
yeah. So where can we find you on social media? Plug your social media. I have some here. I don't know if it's the right one.
Yeah. Those. So
Is it right? Okay. Hopefully it's
yeah,
right.
and then Twitter is Alexis Lee XY. It's like different handles for all my social media account.
All right, so
Yeah.
make sure you guys follow Alexis Lee on Facebook, alexis.lee26, and Instagram, Alexis underscore friggin underscore Lee. Hard to say that with all the underscores. So yeah, make sure you follow her, and on Twitter. And if you like me, hopefully you do, follow me on Twitter at Leung. And of course, with all the MKW happenings, Blast Off is going to be happening August 28th. Make sure you guys follow us, MKW Wrestling, on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. All the links is below right now. We are about to wrap up here. Thank you very much for everybody watching live with us with Alexis Lee. Hang on a second, get some blockage here. So any advice on well, during the COVID times there was a hashtag Speak Out movement and all that other stuff with bullying and harassment of women and stuff like that. Any advice on how to deal with bullying and sexism, misogyny that may encounter in the pro wrestling business? Especially in a region much like yourself. You mentioned that there wasn't so many women training right now. So how do you deal with bullying and sexism? Any advice?
I guess the most important thing would be that you have a good support system. Because when I was going through all these things in and out of the ring, it's great that I had all these bros, like people I can trust around me, that was like really helpful in dealing with this situation. Like with the speaking out movement, it has brought, I would say, it has brought the women in Southeast Asia closer. Like I was reaching out to many of them who have actually spoke up to kind of make sure everyone's okay. And like it's nice to kind of see that the companies are taking a bigger stance on against bullying, against sexism, and it has shown in the products. I would say in the many different like promotions here in Southeast Asia, like you see more and more women having like a greater part in the promotion, like Phoenix winning the MyPW championship. I mean, she won, then she lost, but she made it. Crystal having more intergender matches, and like mainly like the women in Southeast Asia having a bigger spotlight on them. So it's really nice to kind of see how the companies are kind of like pushing them for bigger things. For bullying wise, like just know that you're not alone. That there are many people out there who's going through the same things. So like if you need to speak to anyone or anything, like you can just always drop me a message. I would try my absolute best to kind of help sort things out if I can. I'm like no gang leader, but it's like you have someone in your corner. And yeah, speaking out movement was great for many of us. I mean, it sucks what has happened to all of us, but it has made pro wrestling a safer space for so many other women out there. So yeah, I'd say like
Great advice. Yes.
support system, very important.
Yeah. Yep. Make sure you support each other and talk to each other. Have some communication. Everybody here. Well, not everyone, but like make sure you talk to somebody that you trust. So. All right, we're wrapping up here. So thank you so much for being on the show, Alexis. So besides Singapore, what's the best country you've worked in so far when it comes to wrestling?
Uh, which countries I wrestle in? Thailand is one of my favorite places to wrestle because the people I always like meet when I'm in Thailand. It's always fun. We've had like some crazy memories. Hong Kong was also really really fun. Like yeah, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Thailand. I would say like these are three of my favorite countries to kind of like wrestle in. Even though I've wrestled in Taiwan once. The people there are like really great. The way they kind of like uh, brought me around and all that. It was so fun. It's still over. America was fun too, even though I just did one show. Yeah, it's so much fun like going around, just traveling. I like to travel, so basically any chance for me to travel, that's the best.
Awesome. There are any U.S. promotions out there? Make sure you book Alexis once the COVID situation dies
After I
down.
have the driving license, after I get my driving license,
Get
I
one of
still need my
the
driving
ring.
license.
Get one of the ring setup people to drive you around.
Yeah, I'll just be on the top or in the boot. I don't know. I could be in the boot.
uh, all right, we're wrapping up here. So, is there any more final questions here before we log off? From the boss himself, Adrian Gomez. I heard that Alexis Lee is now a trainer
Oh
in
yeah.
SPW. What's an Alexis Lee training session look or feel like? Any yelling going on there?
No, I haven't actually done a training session so far because of my work schedule and also like we are only allowed 5 people in the training place at a single time. So like mostly like the guys have been handling the training. I'm just kind of handling the girls side of things right now. Like even my girls who are on hiatus, I've been in constant contact with them. So yeah, basically I'm just in charge of the girls. That's it. My training session is fun. We talk shit. We need people to kind of like direct me back into training because we talk a lot. So yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Adrian. Next question. Kevin Chu, has Alexis adopt any pets before? If yes, what were they? If no, have you ever thought of getting a pet? Any pets in your life?
I had a hamster, my poor niblets. Also have a Chinese name because I'm Chinese like that. My hamster died when I was in. I got my hamster in high school, and my hamster died in high school. So that was not a fun time in my life. Yeah. Since then, I did not have a pet because I'm not. My parents are big on having like dogs or cat at home, and like I was so heartbroken when my hamster died that I'm not sure if I should get another pet. I probably want one in the future. Like I do know I want one, but I'm not sure if I'm capable of dealing with one, especially with the death part of it. So it's
Yeah,
like,
death part's
yeah,
always hard. My cat has not made an appearance yet, so he's being good today.
damn it.
All right, thank
I
you,
want the
Kevin.
cat to kind
Any? Yeah, cats are pretty good for wrestlers because they're more self self sufficient. Jonathan Ray, best wishes from Jonesboro, Arkansas, USA. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. Sounds like an awesome place, Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Rest in peace,
Yes.
little hamster. All right, rest in peace,
Yep,
hamster.
a little niblets.
All right, wrapping up here. Any more questions? If not, I guess that's not. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for watching live on Facebook and YouTube and sending in questions. I believe we will be back on the 30th in 2 weeks for another edition of Chinese Wrestling Sit Down. Thank you, Alexis Lee, for joining us here today for this show. And yeah, have a great rest of the Sunday. Have a good day or night.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Alexis.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.